Sky News.
Well, joining us live is Liberal MP and Shadow Communications Minister Melissa McIntosh. Thank you so much for joining us. We will find out more very soon. Good morning. 28 in your party are against net zero, 17 are for, and around 4 unsure. What will happen if you don't unite in a decision?
Thanks, Jaynie. Yesterday, the party room was quite collegiate. Everyone had about 5 minutes to have their say, and I prosecuted my community's case against net zero because people in my part of the world, in Western Sydney, are really suffering under Labor's renewables only approach, pushing this target that's driving up energy prices. I think we will reach a position today. Everyone who stood up said that whatever the resolution is, they will back it in. And that's what we do as a Liberal Party. We get to be individuals, but at the end of the day, come together united. And that's going to be really important for the next phase. I think Tony Abbott is right. It's going to be up to us to prosecute why, if we do settle on that today, why would we drop net zero, and what's that going to mean for the Australian people? Because it doesn't mean that we are anti-climate or anti-environment, but it does mean that we are pro-Australian and pro-Australia's future.
And that's a very interesting point, Melissa, because it's potentially, would you argue, it's about having a strong message. And if you were to dump the net zero target, for example, how are you going to convince younger voters that you believe that climate change is real?
Well, you're right, and I think it's going to be an important time for us after this phase, if that's what we decide today. There was no one that stood up and said we should get out of Paris. Everyone stood up and talked about our role in the international community to reduce emissions and, you know, to protect our environment for future generations. This wasn't what it's about. What we have acknowledged, because so many people across the country have been telling us, is that we can't continue down the track that we're doing right now, because we're not going to get there. It's clear that Labor is missing its targets. Let's set a new pathway for Australia, and then we've got to prosecute our case like we should always be able to do, and let's start being a strong opposition.
What kind of a slogan do you think you're going to come up with, and do you need something short and sharp? Because if it's net zero by 2050, that's something that people understand. Are we going to hear something clear from your government?
Have you got any ideas?
Well, it's possibly, but I don't think I'm allowed to share them.
Okay. I'll give you a call. I think it will be important for us to articulate it in a compact way. It is a big thing, and it's very complex, and many Australians, you know, there's so many different terminologies around for different parts of the climate debate that many Australians don't understand the whole concept, even around the targets and what that means. So you're right, we'll have to come up with some things, but ultimately we'll have to tell the Australian people why we are doing it and why it is a good thing and why we are doing it for them.
You mentioned a few days ago to my colleague, political editor Andrew Clennell, that you were keen potentially one day to be leader, but you did say you were stronger when you're together. You backed Susan Lee. Is that still the case? And how do you think Susan Lee's leadership is at the moment? Do you think it's under pressure?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, I would love to be leader one day. I think it would be an amazing honour, and I care passionately about our country and our people and our nation's future. And I think I said yesterday that day wasn't today, and today it's not today either. But right now, I think we do need to be united behind Susan and give her a go in prosecuting and leading on our decision when it comes to net zero, because there's going to be nothing worse than a turmoil around the leader whilst we're trying to get out there and let Australians know why we are taking the trajectory we are.
The picture on the front page of the Australian and other newspapers show a united front with a lot of people in the Liberal Party. Do you think that was choreographed?
It reminded me a bit of school when you're missing out on like a cool group walking into the classroom. I don't know. I think it's, people make their own decisions about why they walk in the way they do. I walked in by myself. I felt really strong and committed on behalf of my community. I released what I was going to say in that party room, prior to the party room, to my community, and I knew I had their full backing, so I could do that. But I don't know. I didn't have any discussions with any of my colleagues as to what made them do that, but they got the front page, I guess.
So you chose to walk alone?
Yeah, I think there's strength in walking alone when you have conviction.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much for joining us again. We are going to find out more today, and we've got to wrap it up, but great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jaynie.